Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to URKG. This is your latest Real Madrid transfer news. Look, today's live stream is packed with major Madrid news. Juventus want Dani Ceballos. Could that be a bargaining deal? AC Milan want Fran Garcia as a Theo Hernandez replacement. Future is still unclear. And the biggest headline, of course, Xabi Alonso has full power. Even Mbappe and Vini Jr., they could be on the bench. And we got much more to talk about, people. But before we get started, you already know, like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and get in the comment sections and let me know about the 3 topics that we're going to be discussing on this show. What you feel about, and get in the poll as well. But look, we can't go anywhere. We have to start off with Ceballos, right? Ceballos to Juventus. This is coming from Mundo Deportivo. Yes, Juventus are ready to spend 12 million euros to sign Dani Ceballos from Real Madrid. And Ceballos, we know, Ceballos only played 70 minutes under Xabi Alonso in this Club World Cup. And the message is clear. I mean, it is telling that Alonso doesn't really fancy Ceballos in his team or for the future for Real Madrid. And Juventus are interested. And they're saying they're willing to pay 12 million. But look, Real Betis, his boyhood club as well, right? They are in some sort of rumors as well. They might be interested in to get into Ceballos, if they can sign him or not. But you guys let me know in the comment sections. Type sell if you want Ceballos to be sold, or type stay if you want. If you think he deserves another chance at Real Madrid, or Juventus or Betis, where would you send Ceballos? Get in the comment sections right now. London, Rodrigo, James, Aviation, Adrian, and the rest of you. Aiden, ZX as well. Big up to all of you. Big up to all of you for joining us. Look, London says, I'm in the building. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. But look, what I'm trying to say here is that Ceballos, I don't see Ceballos staying with Real Madrid. I just can't see a place for him to be playing in this team. Xabi Alonso already started using Irregular in that position. So that leaves me, right? It's clearly he doubts Dani Ceballos in that position. He doesn't like him in that position. He doesn't want him in that position, which is the reason why he's using a winger like Irregular to be playing in that middle of the park. We've got Valverde in there, Bellingham is in there, Tchouaméni is in there, Camavinga is in there. Yes, Modric is left, but Modric was already on the bench. So Ceballos is in a tricky position right now. He's really, really in a tricky position right now. And I'm looking at the poll here, and most of you guys are saying, maybe if we sign a replacement. But I don't think he's even starting for Real Madrid. He never really started for Madrid. He's always been a squad player. And now that Brahim Diaz is also can play that position, now that we're playing with a back 5, and the midfield position is going to be really tightened, I feel like. And I see him definitely leaving. If you ask my opinion, I see Ceballos leaving. There's no way he could stay. And with 12 to 15 million, I will definitely accept. It's a bargain. We could get that money and use it for somewhere else. Ceballos could be sold, but Fran Garcia should stay. We're going to get into the second segment. Of course, we're going to talk about Fran Garcia in a minute. But let's finish up with Ceballos here. Let me just read out some of the comments here. Yeah. It is actually destined to happen. If you ask me, right, Ceballos, there's no way for him to stay in this team. Like I said, like the team is packed with full of stars in the middle of the park, and I see him definitely leaving Real Madrid. That would be my thought. I think Xabi Alonso has made it clear for all of us that he wants him gone. And look, how many people in the chat actually expect him to be gone, or you want him to be sold, or you want him to stay? Let me know in the comments section. But I feel like he's going to be gone any minute now. And look, the second player, which is under discussion right now, is this man right here, bro. Fran Garcia to AC Milan. And look, the sources from coming from Diario AS in Spain. I mean, AC Milan want Real Madrid left back Fran Garcia to replace Theo Hernandez. They just sold Theo Hernandez to Al-Hilal. So they need a replacement in that position. According to Rudy Galetti from AS Darios, Milan want Garcia after the move of Theo Hernandez. And Garcia has a solid Club World Cup, I have to say. Madrid just signed Alvaro Carreras. Of course, that is going to put doubt into the position of Fran Garcia, right? Because you got Fran Garcia now, you got Carreras, the new signing. You're signing him for 50 M's. That means he's definitely going to be a starter. He's not coming to Real Madrid to be sitting on the bench. So for sure, he could be the starter. And also you got Mendy coming back from an injury. And don't forget Alaba. Alaba could use and operate in that position as well. I know he doesn't have the legs anymore, but he also operated as a left back in the past. So this is going to be an interesting one. I mean, you guys let me know. Who should leave? That's the first question I want to ask. Would you rather see Mendy leave or would you rather see Garcia leave? I want people in the comment sections. Carreras could also play as a left center back. Yes, that is a good point as well. Aiden says sell Ceballos. Yeah, we discussed that already. Look, if you ask my opinion, right, I don't know. We can't. It's obvious that there are 3 left backs in the team right now, and someone has to go. And if you ask me, who do you want to leave? I'm going to say it's a tough one. If I haven't seen the tournament in the Club World Cup, I would definitely say Fran Garcia. I think Mendy, if he stays fit, I think Mendy is a better left back than Fran Garcia. I would have said that, but this tournament has slightly just changed my mind. You know, in the Club World Cup, he did well. He did okay. He ran a lot up and down the pitch. He didn't get tired even with that heat. So he's got the fitness. He also got the discipline, right? He wasn't making mistakes in those games. I didn't see him make a single mistake in that tournament. So he didn't put a foot wrong in that tournament. So now the decision comes. Are you going to decide about Fran Garcia based on 6 games that we just saw in the Club World Cup? Or are you going to decide based on what he has done the whole last season? And I feel like what we saw last season wasn't good enough, and which is the reason why Real Madrid are in the market. I mean, already went ahead and bought Alvaro Carreras from Benfica for 50 M's. So that tells me they're not happy with both left backs. And I think Fran Garcia could be the one leaving. And I think we're going to get more money if we get rid of Fran Garcia instead of Mendy, because nobody actually wants to sign Mendy at this moment in time. He's in the medical room. He's just injured. He's been injured all season. So people are not going to spend any money trying to sign him. But if you want to get some bucks, if you want to get some money in for the team, I think Fran Garcia could be that guy to get rid of. And they're talking about 20 M's plus add-ons, and I think that would be a good decision. I think that would be a good offer. Why can't we just keep Mendy and Fran Garcia and Carreras and let's rotate them? London, you're not going to have 3 left backs. Name a team that has 3 left backs in one team. There's probably none. There's probably none. You can't have all those left backs in the same team. You actually just need 2, right? You don't need 3. And potentially other players like Alaba could be operating in that position. Yes, I'm not saying I want to keep Alaba, by the way. That is a different conversation. I want Alaba gone as well, but that is not the segment here. What we're talking about is Fran Garcia, and I feel like Fran Garcia might be the one to be sacrificed, even though a lot of fans might not agree with it. I think he could potentially be the one leaving Real Madrid. Rodrigo says KG Vini has to leave because he has contract. Yes, we're going to talk about Vini and Mbappe and Xabi Alonso. That is going to be the next segment. Militao's ready. Yeah, Militao's ready. We know that. Should Madrid sign another young center back? That is also a discussion I want to cover at the end of the segment. But look, the focus now is Fran Garcia. Should he stay? Should he go? Everybody in the chat, let me know right now. Let me know right now. I've given you my thoughts. I mean, would you sell Fran Garcia to AC Milan if they offer us 25 M's? Let's see, 25 to 30 M's. Would you take it? I think I would take it. I would definitely take it. I don't know about you guys, but I would definitely take it. And we already signed a left back. We can invest that money into other positions. I think the team lacked control in the middle of the park, and Ceballos is not the answer. I spoke about him already. We need to bring in another midfielder, somebody like Enzo Fernandez, somebody like McAllister. These are the names that are being mentioned for Real Madrid, and these are the names that Xabi Alonso wants to sign in the middle of the park. In order to fund that, we need to get rid of players in other positions, and Fran Garcia is one of them. And I think we could get a good offer for him as well. I think there will be a balance in the team after Mastantuono comes in. Vini, Mbappe, Mastantuono should be our attack. There's a slight issue with that, London. I mean, Vini and Mbappe, there's a lot of issues with those two. And that's the second, I mean, the next segment, I actually want to talk about that. So just stay tuned. We're going to talk about that in the next segment. But I feel like just to wrap up, you know, Fran Garcia, he's a decent player, solid tournament in the Club World Cup. But if a good offer comes, I think we should not hesitate to let him go. I just think we should not let him. We shouldn't hesitate. Let me just read some of the comments here. This is my defense. Left back Alvaro, Dean, Militao, and Trent. That's a good one. It's a good lineup, actually, from Soccer Edits. Namish said something, but it just disappeared. KG, should Madrid keep Rodrigo and Vini and Mbappe can't play together? They all can't play together. I'm going to get into that. If we do have time, I'm going to get into that segment really, really quickly. But look, Fran Garcia, let's see how this is going to materialize. Of course, we haven't seen a discussion on this from Fabrizio. We haven't seen these discussions on the main outlets. Mainstream media haven't really discussed about that, but well, one thing for sure that we know is that they said it's going to be massive changes. They're going to be doing big moves. Madrid are doing big moves after that loss against Paris Saint-Germain. Madrid is ready to make a whole lot of changes in the squad. So don't be surprised if Fran Garcia could be one of those guys to be sacrificed. Mr. Last says we can play Fran Garcia as a left back and play Alvaro as a center back. No, I don't want to use Alvaro as a center back. That's not the reason why we're signing him. We're signing him to play as a left back. We got Militao, Rudiger, Asensio, Dean Housen, Alaba. All these guys are center backs. And there are potential talk with Kanate as well. We don't want Carreras to come in and play as a center back. That's going to make your team weak. He's good at playing on the left. He's physically can cope as being a center back. Yes, he could be utilized for 1 or 2 games, but you don't want to base your game on Carreras playing as a center back. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I think you should stay because Mbappe is bad because of Vini. Look, that's a different conversation. Yes, Kluan, big up for joining us. Big up for joining us. Mukuti says Rudiger's kind of off. Yes. Which is the reason why, bro, which is the reason why we're having discussions about signing another center back, because we saw Asensio, we saw making a big mistake in that tournament consecutively. And Rudiger made 2 mistakes consecutively, one against Dortmund and one against Paris Saint-Germain. That cost us the tournament. Basically, these 2 defenders cost us the tournament. I'm not saying we were going to beat PSG regardless, but look, Chelsea have shown how to beat PSG, right? And I don't think Chelsea's a better team than us, but somehow they did it because they did not make mistakes. I think we made mistakes in those 10, 15 minutes and we paid the price, got knocked out. After that, we just couldn't recover. That gave confidence for Paris Saint-Germain, but that's not the point that I want to talk about in this show. Look, our back 4, or if you will, back 5 needs resurrection. And Dean Housen is one of those guys that came in. Trent is another one. Now Carreras joined us. That's 3 new faces in that back 5, right? Tchouaméni could be used in that position. Also, Militao's coming back. Carvajal is coming back. So I don't think we can have all these defenders in one team. It's just not good. It's not good for the balance. It's not good for the chemistry. It's not good for the politics that is going on in the dressing room. So I think Fran Garcia, just keep an eye on him. He could be the one leaving next for sure. By the way, every single one of you joining us, like the stream if you haven't liked the stream, and subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. We got more stuff to talk about here. James says, KG, we have to sell Asensio. That's another one. I wouldn't sell him, but I would loan him out and see how he performs. He could be the next good thing. He could be the next big defender. But he needs to play regularly. He needs to make those mistakes in another team, not at Real Madrid, not at the highest level. You can't do that. He needs to go and play for a small team. That's what I would say. Antonio Silva, I haven't seen any discussion about Antonio Silva. I'll be honest. Mukuti, I haven't seen any discussion about him, but I'll bring it up to you guys as soon as I hear about anything about Antonio Silva. All right, let's move on to the last thing, right? To the last chapter that we want to discuss. And then we're going to have a Q&A. You guys can ask me any questions at the end of the stream, right? Here's the big one, right? Here's the big one. Sports are now, right, reporting Xabi Alonso has total control. You know what that means? No guaranteed starters. I'm talking about Kylian Mbappe. I'm talking about Vini. I'm talking about Rodrigo Bellingham. Nobody is guaranteed to start. And Perez, in the past, have dictated the team, have said, this guy should start, this guy has to play. But right now, even Florentino Perez is in line with Xabi Alonso. And Xabi Alonso is going to make that decision. Whoever is not defending, whoever is not tracking back, they're going to sit on the bench. Basically, this is a massive news. I think this is a great news. And I hope it is true because in the past, Madrid team has always been dictated by player power, just like Manchester United. Yes, United's dressing room, they're shit players with big egos. But at Real Madrid, they're good players, but they got big egos and they can't be controlled. You got Rodrigo. Is he going? Is he staying? His attitude is not right towards Xabi Alonso. I think that is the reason why Xabi Alonso hasn't even played him a whole lot in the tournament. And Vini is another one. Attitude-wise, it's not great. Mbappe is another one. We've got issues. We've got major issues, people. And Xabi Alonso, if he cannot rectify this, if he can't fix this, I think this team is going to be in trouble. Toni Kroos recently said this team needs to defend as a unit. And Alonso definitely agrees. Players will earn their spot based on the training and the commitment they show, right? No more this big name privilege. I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear that. Massive cultural change is needed. And what PSG has proven last season is that it's better to have 3 players that can score 10 goals each than to have 1 player scoring 50 goals. You understand? The game has changed. We need everybody to be scoring goals. We need everybody to be participating in the attack. And right now, at this moment in time, Madrid is not functioning like that, did not function like that last season. Look, in the comment sections, I want you guys to answer this question now. Should Mbappe or Vini be benched if they don't defend? Yes or no? I want everybody to say yes or no in the comment sections. Are you happy with Alonso's tough love approach right now? This is going to happen. And do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? I've given you my thoughts here. Let me just read some of the comments here. I talked about that, the defenders already. KG, they should sell Vini, and he can't play with Mbappe. That is for sure. We've got massive issues with Vini Jr. and Kylian Mbappe. These two are not functioning as a team. It's not just Bellingham. I'll put Bellingham in the conversation as well. These 3, they have massive egos, right? Massive egos. Yes, Kylian Mbappe scored like over 40-something goals last season, Golden Boot winner. He can at least hide on that. You know, What has Vini done last season? Nothing. What has Bellingham done? Nothing. But their ego is all the way up here because they won the Champions League 2 years ago, or they've won the Champions League twice in the past 3 or 4 years. That is not an excuse. I think that cannot be an excuse. And we need to build a team. And the way we attack, the way we defend, it has to be a unit stuff. It just cannot be Valverde tracking back. It cannot only be just Bellingham by himself or Tchouaméni by himself. The team has to defend as a unit. The team has to attack as a unit. And that's what PSG has proven. That's what Chelsea have done yesterday. That's what every team is going forward. And that's what they're doing. Manchester City, Barcelona, everybody's doing it. So we need to be on point if we want to compete with these guys. Lenda says, don't blame Vini. I'm not just blaming Vini. Look, I'm not just blaming Vini. I'm talking about Vini. I'm talking about Mbappe. I'm talking about all the big stars that are not performing for the team as a unit. And Alonso is here for a reason, people. Carlo Ancelotti did not utilize any sort of formation, did not utilize anything. He just said, all right, go out there, enjoy yourself. He just most likely did what Ole has done for Manchester United, really. Just go out there, enjoy yourself. Freestyle football. That ain't going to cut it anymore. You got massive contenders right now in the Champions League. We can't win the Champions League again playing just freestyle game. Just relying on individuals, relying on Mbappe today. Tomorrow's going to be Vini. The next day is going to be Rodrigo. We don't want that, right? We want these guys to play as a team and attack as a team, defend as a team, just like PSG, just like Barcelona, just like the other teams, right? So that needs to happen. That needs to happen. And Alonso is here for a reason, people. He's here to make us play great, just like what he did for Bayern Leverkusen. They went undefeated the whole season. They didn't particularly have one player scoring 40 goals, but they had players like Wirtz, like all these guys up front, right? They were contributing for the team, and they won more games because of that. That needs to happen, I think. Should Rodrigo leave? Should Rodrigo stay? I want everybody to get in the comment sections right now. Bruv says, we won't have Bellingham for 3 to 4 months in La Liga, so we need to focus on midfield first. That is the point that I discussed earlier, bruv. So Ceballos is one of the players that could be sacrificed. So I would rather let go of Ceballos for 10 to 15 M's and then buy a solid midfielder like McAllister or Enzo Fernandez. Buy somebody like that. I know it's going to be difficult to get them, but try your best to get these guys. At the end of the day, it's still Real Madrid. Most players want to play for Real Madrid. So if we do have the budget, we can get anybody, bro. We just cannot get anybody. We can get anybody. KG, next topic, Mastertuno. We could, if you want to talk about Mastertuno, we're going to talk about Mastertuno later on in the Q&A section. But look, Florentino Perez has full backing. Just to wrap up on this segment, right? He has full backing. And he's okay with Xabi Alonso. He's okay with whatever Xabi Alonso is going to do. He can bench Vini and Mbappe, anybody. And that gives me confidence for the new season. That gives me hope that this team is going to be fixed because we can't just rely on individuals. And the fact that Florentino Perez is behind this gives me confidence that Alonso is going to implement his thing. He's going to implement his tactics, discipline, and make us a proper team. All right. All right. Before we wrap up, I want to go through the comment sections before we wrap up, and then we also going to do a Q&A. All right. KG, I say that. Let me see. KG, I say that Rodrigo should go to a club who gives him game time. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Eva says 3-4-3 or 4-3-3 should be the formation. That's the formation we've been using. We used 3-5-2, 3-4-3, 4-2-3-1, and also 4-3-3. He's done all of that in this competition. So he's flexible. That's the good thing about Alonso, right? He is really flexible. We're not relying on one formation. I mean, Ancelotti, I thank him for what he did in the past, but this brother was just using the same setup in every single game. That cost us the Copa. That cost us the La Liga. cost us the Champions League as well. Just setting up the same formation in every game. People could predict how you set up. And it wasn't just working. The fact that we got Alonso now, we can set up in a whole lot of different ways. Tonight, we could play with a back five, and then next week, we could play with a 4-3-3. Brav says Ceballos is not a performer for Madrid, so I feel new midfielder or get Gonzalo, Endrick, and Mastantuono to play in middle. Maybe. I mean, Endrick won't play in the middle. Gonzalo won't play in the middle. And Mastantuono is a winger as well. So we got players in the middle of the park, but we just need somebody like Toni Kroos who can dictate the game, who can control the game. We don't want... Bellingham's not that guy. Bellingham just attacks. He's like a sort of like box to box. He's not really Xavi. He's not really Busquets. He's not really Iniesta. It's a weird one with Bellingham. I don't know what he is, but what he's good at is basically getting into the box and scoring goals, right? That's what he's good at. I think we need somebody that can control the tempo, like Toni Kroos, like Vitinha. We need somebody in the middle of the park that can control the tempo, and we don't have that. We do not have that, which is the reason why Madrid are shopping for midfielders. Camavinga is not that. Valverde is not that. Tchouaméni is not that. And Arda Güler could be that, but he's not that yet. And Güler has been playing as a winger for most of his life, most of his career. He's just learning that position now. Can he be the one to make us tick? He could be. But I'm not going to bet my house on that. Like, I haven't seen it yet. And this tournament, it didn't really work. So we're going to have to wait and see what Madrid do in terms of signing a player. We need a setup reveal, says London. Clone says Jude Bellingham is not the right player for Real Madrid. Look, yeah, something has to be given. Something has to happen. I'm telling you guys right now, we can't continue doing the same stuff that we did in the past. Mukuti says Rodrigo is a CM or CAM. Rodrigo is RM or left M. He's not CM or CAM. He's not that. He's not that. What else we have? All right, I think I've covered all the comments here. All right, Eva's saying that Mendy and Alaba should leave, Ceballos and Endrick on loan, Rodrigo stays. That's a good one. It's a good point. It's a good point from Eva. Mendy and Alaba should leave. Yeah. Like I said earlier on the Fran Garcia topic, right? I said I would keep Mendy because we're not going to get money from Mendy. Yes. Hypothetically, it's good to say, yeah, just get rid of Mendy. Like, who is going to buy him? Who's going to invest 1 million on Mendy right now? Who's going to pay 1 million for Alaba right now? These guys have been injured consistently. They're consistently injured. So which team is going to come and offer money to buy those guys? I don't think anybody will come in, which is the reason why I keep saying, got yourself Fran Garcia because he had a good tournament. You could easily get 20 to 30 M's for him. And then we can use that money on another position. And Mendy, once he comes back, once he recovers, if he plays well next season, then you have a potential buyers that are interested. But at this moment in time, nobody is interested. Nobody. Gyökeres will do good at Real Madrid. Gyökeres is finalizing his move with Arsenal. Chloe. That is done. That is done. KG, this is the point. If Vini can't play with Mbappe, try Rodrigo with him. Rodrigo is absolutely spot on there. If we get rid of Vini, obviously, he hasn't signed a new contract, by the way. They're still stalling. So there's something fishing in there. And something stinks in there. It's like a rotten fish in there because they haven't decided to sign Vini or extend his contract. So it's weird. I don't know what they're waiting for. Maybe negotiations taken long. Maybe the price range they haven't really matched. But if they don't sign him, right, Rodrigo could potentially stay. And Vini could be the one leaving. That could happen. Defense is still not a problem. I feel Fran Garcia should stay. Good point. Good point. Mukuti says, I said Rodrigo more for Porto, not the Brazilian one. Fran Garcia stays 100%, says that Eva. KG, Rodrigo is a hidden gem. He is a hidden gem, but that's not how Xabi Alonso sees it, bro. That's not how he sees it. He doesn't see him for the future in this team. London says Vini and Mbappe played well together, bro. We need a new right wing. That's all. So the right wing position, London, is what we're talking about, right? The right wing position is Mastantuono. So what we haven't seen so far is Mastantuono playing as a right wing, Vini on the left, and Mbappe as a center forward. We haven't seen that. That could definitely click, but that's what we're going to be waiting for sure. Clone says, I'm just giving you my input, KG. Real Madrid need a young striker. Yes, but Gyökeres is not it, I think. And if you bring in another center forward, right? If you bring in another center forward, that means Vini has to leave because you're going to have to put Kylian Mbappe on the left. Where are you going to put Mbappe? You bring in another center forward. Vini has to leave. Vini was uncomfortable against PSG playing on the right wing. We played that game in a 4-3-3 formation against Paris Saint-Germain. We put Gonzalo Garcia up front. We put Kylian Mbappe on the left. And we put Vini on the right. These guys are not tracking back. They were just walking. They were not pressing, which is why we got destroyed. Okay? That is something that Alonso has to fix. But the second point I want to make is that Vini doesn't want to play on the right wing. Vini was close to winning the Ballon d'Or on the left wing. So he's not sacrificing his position for Kylian Mbappe, which is the reason why we're having issues right now in this team. There's some sort of dilemma. There's some sort of ego. So he has to step in. Alonso has to step in. He has to step in and tell us, all right, he's going to be on the left wing. He's going to be on the right. You know what I'm saying? We need that. We need that clarity. And it's going to be clear in preseason. It also is going to be clear when the season starts. La Liga starts, you will be seeing the team that we expect to see. Why is he playing in the right wing in the first place? He was playing in the right wing because Gonzalo Garcia started in the middle of the park. I just spoke about that. Brav says, I feel Vini leaves, then Mbappe, left W, Gonzalo or Mastantuono striker, Rodrigo on the right. You guys still believe Rodrigo is going to stay? I mean, percentage-wise, if you ask me for percentage, I would say Rodrigo staying is like 30%, 70%. I see him leaving. Not just I want him to leave. I just saw what Alonso did in the tournament. He didn't want to use him. Even when we were losing. I mean, we're losing 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. He doesn't come on. Carvajal comes on. Lucas Vázquez comes on. Modric comes on against PSG. And Rodrigo doesn't even come on. So it's crazy. It's crazy. Eva says, Linda Mastantuono said that he wanted to play as a right wing and also that as his position. Yeah, Mastantuono is going to be on the right wing. Rodrigo says, KG, Vini can be sold for 150 and we can get Vitinha in that budget. Good point. Good point. But it's not that easy, right? Paris Saint-Germain won't sell you any players. They never do. They always make it complicated for you. They don't want to let you sign any of their stars. Look what they did with Kylian Mbappe. We offered them 100 M's in January. They said no, even though they knew his contract was ending in the summer. And they lost him in the summer for free. So they'd rather lose players for free than sell players that they want. So I definitely don't think we can get a virus from Paris Saint-Germain, let alone Vitinha. Rodrigo staying is 10%, says Chloe. Probably I might be with you there. You're right about Rodrigo leaving, but we want him to stay. I don't get Alonso why he doesn't snub him. Alonso's job is on the line here, right? He gets rid of Rodrigo. Let's say he gets rid of Rodrigo. He brings in Mastantuono. He keeps Vini. He keeps Bellingham and Mbappe. And he sets up the team. If the team is not winning, Florentino Perez doesn't mess around, bro. Florentino Perez is not the Glazers. He's not going to just sit there and watch. He is going to sacrifice you like a lamb. He starts seeing bad results. He starts seeing things are not going the right way. He would sack Alonso in a flash, bro. He doesn't mess around. I've seen Perez sack 2 managers in one season, bro. So he could do that. He could do that. I think he sacked 2 or 3 managers in the same year. He has done that in the past. So don't be surprised if Alonso's system doesn't work, he will be sacrificed for sure. Everybody in the chat, any questions that you have, just keep them coming. All right, keep them coming. We got to wrap up here. GP Chappy in GTA says, Rodrigo, yeah, Rodrigo's on vacation right now. KG, when is the next watch along? The next watch along is potentially Manchester United against Leeds. We're going to talk about that, of course. But yeah, if you guys like these kind of content, by the way, let me know in the comment sections. As soon as we end the stream, let me know in the comment sections if you guys want me to do this kind of live streams. We don't normally do this, but just breaking down transfers, talking about players, talking about Real Madrid. And if you guys like this kind of content, smash that like, and also let me know in the comment sections. All right. Virat, big up for joining us. Can you do Tottenham versus Arsenal 31st of July? Yes, I think we could do that game. And this Saturday, this Saturday we're going to be live. Manchester United against Leeds. Hopefully we're going to see Cunha playing that. It's going to be this Saturday, bro. Brav says, yes, I love these streams. Keep it going. All right, big up. But yeah, guys, to wrap it all up, people. Ceballos, just to recap, right? If you're just tuning in, Ceballos could leave for Juventus. Deal is worth £12 million. We'll see what's going to happen there. Fran Garcia may join AC Milan. Carreras' arrival changed everything, of course, for sure. And Xabi Alonso has full controls. Even the big stars like Kylian Mbappe are not safe. Vini is not safe. They could all be on the bench. It is a new era at Real Madrid. The summer transfer window could just get really, really shaken up. As always, thank you all. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and I'm gonna put the links in the chat as well for the Discord. To join the Discord, we talk transfer news and everything 24/7. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Big up to all of you. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.